How's it going, everyone? It's me, B. Um, I wanted to talk about something that I want to get going, the new Warrior Project. Creating a Warrior Project. Sorry, I want to get this project going because it's needed. It's needed in indigenous communities. It's needed in the suburbs. It's needed everywhere. But what I want to do is I want to start creating warriors, gentlemen. I want to get I guess ex-cons involved. I want to get them trained up to work with at-risk youth and younger men and kind of guiding them away from making the same mistakes and going to jail and going down that same path. Because honestly, that's what we need. Just from my life experience, I can tell you right now, the first time I went to treatment, I met some indigenous men that were ex-cons because I went to a treatment center that had a release program, and these men did their best to guide me while we were in treatment together. And I think that's where we need to start. We need to stop treating these men like criminals because they have a lot to offer. They have a lot of change to offer for younger generations. Wisdom, experience from a life that we don't want to live, that we shouldn't want to live, that a lot of us indigenous men live. I want to create a support network for these men, housing for the ones that have nowhere to go, that have no one to turn to, because a lot of us don't. We come from broken homes on the reservations or in the city, and we don't have a lot. All we do is hustle and work and do our best to get by, but we all have issues. We all have trauma and a lot of healing to do. And I think that it would benefit indigenous communities for men to heal together. We have a lot of violence in our communities, a lot of violence in our communities. I guess the one thing that I'm going to suggest for dealing with this violence is creating support networks for these people that have these issues, places where they can come and talk and feel safe about getting their issues out and talking about our issues amongst other men and finding ways to better solutions to our problems, because it's needed. I mean, I had my stepdad growing up, and I had other men in my life growing up, but not everyone has that kind of stuff. Not everyone has those kind of role models in their lives, and I know I'm not the best. I know I'm a piece of shit sometimes, but I want to make a change, and I want to help other people change, and I want to break the stigmas and the stereotypes of indigenous men, and I want to create warriors. I want to create leaders. I want to, not only get together and talk about, our problems and solutions, but I want to get together as men and set examples, like going out and picking up garbage and feeding the homeless, handing out water, during the winter, doing the snow angel thing for the elderly. These are the things that I want to do. So creating a warrior project. Because a lot of these young men don't have those examples. They don't have someone to show them the right way. And I think we need to start doing it. And I think that all needs to come from within our communities. So yeah, that's my idea of how we can change the indigenous male population and deal with our mental health and our anger issues and even our addictions is if, you know, we create these group, not just group therapies, but just brotherhoods. Because that's what a lot of us need, especially indigenous men. Because we've come from such broken homes that we don't know what it's like to have a brotherhood. So we join gangs, we join groups, we join whoever will take us in. And we'll do whatever they tell us to do because we just want to be accepted. And I'll tell you that, like, I'm guilty of that. I used to do whatever it took to have you like me. And now I'm doing whatever I can to make the world a better place. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it because I fuck up a lot. But if we want to solve our homelessness issue, you want to lower the crime rates, give these men a chance. Give these men more than a chance. Give them help up, not a handout, not a push down, not an oppression, not any of that shit. Just help them up, become better men. Because that's what's needed. We just need to become better men. And we need to start showing each other how to do that. So, you know, support group. When we sit and talk about our issues and talk about healthy ways of dealing with our problems, and, you know, this support group for men will come together, like I said, you know, and we'll go pick up trash. We'll go feed the homeless. We'll do everything we can to make the world a better place because that's what's needed. We need to give these men an example because maybe that's all they need. Maybe it's just someone to say, hey, man, there's another way. This is it. Let's do this. So, you know, instead of locking us up, instead of putting us out on the streets, you know, these big cities in Canada like Edmonton and Calgary can convert their city properties, their city houses into programs for Indigenous men to start healing, to start working together. And, you know, we integrate ceremony and healthy life choices and setting better examples for the community, especially other Indigenous men. You know, I want us to lead by example. I want us to go out there and do what we can to make the community better. Because a lot of us Native men, we need that kind of shit, and we don't have that. So that's just an idea of mine. I don't know, putting it out there. Gonna make some phone calls to some people that want to help me get this started. So yeah, I don't know. Hope y'all have a good day. Probably talk to you sooner than you think. But yeah, take care.